Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Man Bites Film. My name is Lewis.
I'm Will.
And this week we're actually going to be doing two pretty awesome films. My first one that I want to go straight into is Haunters, The Art of the Scare. This is a 2017 film, and it's pretty much like a documentary that follows the life of these basically scare actors and these guys that make haunted houses in their own homes. Okay, and they make these extreme haunted houses in certain cases. I mean, extreme to the extent that you have to sign a waiver for your life potentially being in danger.
Nice.
Okay,
It's
these
a good
guys,
start.
this one family is so freaking sadistic as shit that they actually go and they literally scare the bejesus out of you, and they will not. There's no safe word. There's nothing to go back from.
Well, if anything is ever done right, there's no safe word.
What? Let's not go into that one.
That's for another episode.
Yeah, February, right? With the.
Oh, no, we're not bringing up 50 Shades. I refuse. That is the twilight of that world. And that is a good comparison.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Like Potter. Anyway, moving on.
Anyways. This one basically, it goes into this family and they literally go and they find your biggest fear. They ask you, they interview these people before they bring them on to the scare. And they terrify them to the point that every single person that they record and they bring to the haunt, it's basically coming out of the haunt terrified. They're screaming, they're crying, they're literally to the point where they're like all mucus. It's insane. They literally bring the worst fears out of people and they scare the shit out of them. And this is the extreme version of it. And then they have other ones that are tailored towards very niche, like, things that people fear. Like, if you're afraid of spiders, they literally put you in fear factor times 100. And they literally put you in a cage full of spiders and try to make you walk through it.
So, okay, question for you. If you were to attend one of these houses and you were interviewed as into what your biggest fear was, knowing you were going to go into it.
After seeing this? Hell no.
No, let's say you never saw this. Let's say somebody came up to you and be like, what's your biggest fear? And you had no idea that you were about to face it into a haunted house. What would you say?
Spiders.
Spiders?
By far. Those things
Good to know.
terrify me, dude. The real ones. Like a Johnny Longlegs or whatever, that doesn't scare me. But,
Daddy Longlegs?
yeah, that.
Okay.
What'd I say?
Johnny.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at the Jack Nicholson.
I'm sorry right now. I can only think he said Daddy Longlegs holding an axe coming through a door going, here's Johnny! Oh, that's going to end up in the editing floor.
No, we're keeping that. Fuck that. We're keeping that.
See, me, I would probably tell them, like, one of the biggest, like, not even the fears, it just kind of, like, gets underneath my skin, is, like, when, like, video games especially, but in movies, where you hear, like, the distant sing-song voice of kids. That's what scares the crap out of me. That's where I'm like, nope, I'm out. Like, no. And then probably just keep playing that. But I'm also the kind of person that as I get used to it, if it's too prolonged, I'll get used to it, and therefore it's like, now it's just getting tedious. But yeah. Other than that, like, my biggest fear, I think, is probably just, like, dying alone. Just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, that's, and you can't really...
You can't do anything about that.
Yeah, I'm like, good luck putting that in a house.
Well, they had one that they locked this woman in a casket, and they had like clawing on the casket, and you heard like random creatures and stuff like that inside the casket. And the crazy part about this guy is that he actually records all these events, so he's there with the camera while all these things are happening.
So basically, this is like a legal version of Saw.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
I mean, literally, it's insane, and I was like.
I need to figure out how to apply for this job.
Oh, they have scare actors, and most of them are like convicts and stuff like that. So you can imagine that's even scarier. Like just the fact that you know that it's terrifying.
That is more terrifying though, because it's like, what are you in for? Mass murder? I think I'll skip this house, thank you. I'll go into one where they have the drug dealer that got arrested.
Yeah, right.
He may smoke me up halfway through it.
And then on the other side, it actually goes with this woman that she's a known scare actor in Hollywood, and she is the most famous scare actor. I can't remember her name offhand, but she does like Universal Studios. She does that farm.
Children of the Corn?
No, it's a farm that they do. It's like a Universal Studios, but it's a farm that they
Okay.
turned into a haunted house in Los Angeles.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's intense. And this woman's been doing it since she was 20, and she's in her late 60s.
Damn.
Yeah, so she's like pro at this.
Yeah.
Real pro. And it's really fascinating how you hear all these stories about this woman, and then you hear the other side of it, the flip side, the scare where they're literally terrifying people to pissing themselves, with, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, no, I mean, it reminds me of like this, I forgot what the name is, but there's a house in LA which there's like, I want to say it's like a 4-year waiting list where it's kind of like this, to where you have to sign a waiver and they pretty much, there's no limit. And there's people that have been in the military, like Special Forces, SEALs, Green Berets, you name it.
Yeah.
And they haven't even been able to complete the house because it gets so
Wow.
bad that they're like, no, they basically tap out. And it's like, wow.
Oh, that makes me want to go even more. It's like, oh, yes.
It does, but like once you step inside, you're
Yeah.
like, well, this
What I
was a
signed
bad
up for?
idea.
What I signed up for?
Literally,
Yeah.
it's like, next time I have an idea, don't let me have an idea. Let it go. But I mean, like it does sound very interesting. I mean, like, and yes, like I have friends. You know, we have friends out here in Orlando, which
Yeah.
they go and they do Universal Horror Nights
Yeah.
every year, and you know, it's not their obviously their everyday job, but they do it year in
Oh,
and
yeah.
year out because that's what they love doing. And if you know what they say, if you love what you do, you're not really going to work every day. So,
Exactly.
I mean, I'd love to be able to even do that for a season or two. Where it's like,
Seriously.
you have to go and scare people. Actually, at work, I can't say where I work, but we have a haunted walk every year, and
Really?
I get to I volunteer every year. And this year they gave me this beautiful scarecrow outfit, and oh my god, I had so much
That's
fun.
awesome.
So much fun. But I can understand why there are people out there which, you know, every year and they're like, this one to do again and base their work around it because
Yeah.
you're getting paid to scare
Yeah.
the crap out
Oh
of
no,
people. I mean,
and this lady, she takes PTO time. She takes her month of PTO from her normal job, and that's what she does for that
Nice.
1 month. All she does, and that's what a lot of these people did. Is that they take a month of PTO, 2 weeks to prepare, and then 2 weeks to do the haunts. Yeah,
that's it, 2 weeks.
2 weeks to prepare. But oh man, when you finish watching this doc, you want to come out and build a haunted house, and you want to be like, oh, this is so cool. Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I just want to come out and turn on all my lights and play loud music.
No, but I want to try this year. I want to see if we could do like a haunted house and do like a, what do you call it, like a an escape room haunted house. Do like a Hellraiser theme or something like that. That you have to escape from the room, and then after you escape from the room is the haunted house.
That's just fucked up. Bleep me out if you have to on that one, but damn. It's like you work so hard to get out of it. Like, I'm gonna go back in the room. Like, you guys go ahead. I'm just gonna stand back here. I'm cool.
Yeah, so I want to figure that out, but yeah. So what was your pick this week?
My pick was actually Mudbound. It's a movie that came out in December on Netflix, so it's a 2017 movie. It's a little long, runs about 2 hours and 14 minutes, and
Yeah.
when I say, I mean, like 2 hours and 14 minutes is pretty much like, you know, an average, you know, good solid movie, but there's really not much action, if any, in it, and it's a drama, so it feels like it's longer than 2 hours and 14 minutes, but it's a very well made movie. It basically depicts two families, a white family and a black family, in America right after the Second World War.
Okay.
And basically, like, even though they're both pretty much on the same level as far as like where they are in society, both of them being broke, both of them having lost everything, it shows that even within their own, I don't want to call it ranks, but, you know, society, there was always that, you know, you work for me and you're black.
Yeah.
And the white family actually has the grandfather who's still with them, and he's just one N-word after another, because, you know, that's the mentality that he had.
That's
And each family actually has a son in the war, and you get flashbacks of them being in the war. and when they get back, they're the ones that pretty much they don't see the difference. They don't like they see it, but they're like, we fought a war, we put our lives on the line together. This is, you know,
Yeah.
and especially like, you know, the Black Sun, you see him where he in overseas in a country that wasn't even his own was treated like a normal human being, you know, like anybody else. And there's one scene where he's back stateside, and he walks into a store, and he almost gets into a fight with like 3 older men because he's used to walking in through the front and walking out through the front, and you know he's told, you know, people like you have to walk out to the back door. To him, it was something that's like. He has been gone for so long that it's like
it didn't register.
He didn't register. You know, he fought for the freedom of not only us but the free world.
Yeah.
And here he is being told, you know, well, you're back here now, so you're gonna follow our rules, and it doesn't matter that you put your life on the line while we're over here.
That's so messed up. I never understood the point of it. I never understood how people can have that racism towards a particular group of people. I don't get that. It's like
it's taught, really.
But even then, like, dude, I joke about it because Cubans and Puerto Ricans don't get along, so I'm always taunting and doing jokes, but I don't actually mean it. And it's like I don't do that as an intentional, what do you call it, racist thing or anything. But I do it as a joke with them, and I make sure if somebody doesn't have a sense of humor, I'm not gonna do it with them, obviously. But it's like I don't know how people could feel racist towards a group of people that they've never met or never known before. I don't get that.
Dennis Leary, in one of his stand-up, actually had made a very good, it was meant to be a punchline, but it's reality. He goes, racism is not inherited, racism is taught.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what my 2-year-old son hates? Naps. End of list. Because it's true. When you're a baby, when you're a kid, you know, you're not taught, well, you know, don't talk to him because he's Latino, don't talk to her because she's white, don't talk to him because he's black. We, as kids, society. You know, don't, and then society takes over, and you look around, and, you know, especially, you know, your very own upbringing, then you try to fit into the society that you're being brought up, and if that's what society depicts in your mind, and now you see it, then you get enthralled. There's a scene in the movie 42, a story about Jackie Robinson, where this kid is at the ballpark with his father, and he hears his father yell the N-word to Jackie Robinson as he's taking the field, and then all of a sudden the kid starts saying it as well. That right there is like one of the most poignant scenes in that movie, because it's like that's how racism.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
That's how it starts.
That's where it takes off.
I really enjoyed the movie. Like I said, it felt longer than 2 hours and 2.25 hours because it's drama, because
it's plotting.
It's a lot of plotting. I would have loved to see the movie just shot from the point of view of the kids, of the 2 sons. Maybe even just start overseas and, you know, just seeing kind of like Dunkirk a little bit, where you have 2 different perspectives, and then as they come stateside, you see the difference in society and their lives and strive and how they are able to survive. Obviously, it wasn't called that back then, but one of them started suffering from PTSD. And all that. But overall, it was a really good movie. It's got Jason Clarke, Rob Morgan, Mary J. Blige actually is in it. She's like almost unrecognizable in it. The makeup was actually really good. Jason Mitchell, Great Headland, and Jonathan Banks. Jonathan Banks actually is older. He's the grandfather. I can never remember. He's one of those actors that you see him in movies and you're like, oh, I remember him from that movie, but you can never remember the name. Or if you remember the name, you don't remember what movie you saw him in. It's like, great. Overall,
there's a few actors like that.
I mean, actually, Jason Clarke, who plays the father in this movie, I had to IMDb him because it's one of those, like, as the movie's going, where I'm like, who is this guy? He actually played John Connor in Terminator's, not Salvation, the 4th installment. Okay. It was the one right after Christian Bale.
Salvation?
Oh yeah. No, Salvation was the one with Christian Bale. The one after, or Genesis. Sorry.
Okay.
He was in
Matt Smith.
Yes. So other than that, like there's no like big name actors that really stands out one over the other.
Sometimes it takes away from the movie if you have a big actor, and especially in a story like this.
I was actually literally about to say that because like in a movie like this, to where you don't want it to be seen because of the actor, but it's the story and the plot that you want to be in the forefront. Not having big name actors is actually an advantage as a filmmaker, as a director, because you know, big name actors sometimes, I'm not saying always, but they're like, oh, I want to have more scenes than everybody else. I want to have this, all this time.
Not only that, I mean, it takes away from the movie because then you're thinking, oh, this guy's just pandering to an audience. He's just trying to get more hits. When it's somebody unknown like this, then it's a lot more. You're intrigued in the story, and you're not looking at the actors and being like, oh, they did this because of this, and that. At least for me, that's what I think they're doing.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you on that one. Overall, I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10. Because like I said, it was very good. The storyline's very good. It's very well shot. It just personally, overall, I would have shot it from a different angle, so to speak. But it was actually enjoyable, and it opens up for debate. It opens up, you know, for a good talk afterwards, and
awesome.
Yeah.
And where was this one streaming on?
Netflix.
Netflix as well?
Yes.
Okay. Haunters was on Netflix as well, and I didn't give it my rating. I give it a 9 out of 10. So Haunters, the art of the scare, and
Mudblood. Mudbound.
thinking about Harry Potter.
Celebration's like a week away. It's like, guess where my mind is. No, Mudbound. Sorry, Mudbound.
So I don't. So both of these are on Netflix, so I hope you guys are able to check this out. My name is Louis.
I'm Will.
And this is Man Bites Film. We'll see you guys next week for another episode.